We shall now move on to the next set of debates with Dr. Krishna Prasad, who's a senior consultant, glaucoma, squint, oculoplasty, cataract, name it, all the services of MM Joshi Hospital. Another brilliant surgeon who is going to talk on 3D microscope assisted cataract surgery. Is it a boon or a bane? And he would be countered by Dr. Anurag Mishra, consultant pediatric squint oculoplasty from Kar Vision Eye Hospitals, and his set of arguments. So on to you, Dr. Krishna Prasad. And to be following them would be Dr. Kumar, Doctor, and Dr. Ramurthy. The next set.
Thank you, Dr. Chitra and the team ARC. Thanks for my inclusion. I think is a 3D microscope assisted cataract surgery in the current scenario. Definitely is a boon. I think you just remember these two gentlemen, the two trailblazing moments in history. When Sir Harold Ridley got innovated the intraocular lens, he didn't even patent for it. Now that is responsible for today's cataract surgery outcomes. And also Dr. Charles Kellman, when these two came up with their trailblazing, such a revolutionary ideas, they were actually scoffed at, they were ridiculed. They said, this is preposterous. I think the man of contradiction today, I think the man who is really having a troubled time is my most respected co-debater, Dr. Anurag Mishra. Anurag means love. He has a love for gadgets. His OT is full of all the latest gadgets, technology that he has. And his Mishra, mixed means Mishra. He's got a mixed feeling because he's going to now counter that the new technology that is emerging. He thinks that it is not a boon, it is overrated. I think sophistication in one's own art is a sophisticated pleasure. However, in surgery, it's a basic obligation. I think what is the sophistication? We know that the marriage of technology and technique is responsible for today's outcome, the kind of surgical outcome that we have today. So we have great surgeons who have great techniques, but the technology, the industry has given us wonderful machines and technology which is matching the technique. I think what is the new thing that we have is that meet the system. So this is basically the camera which captures the image. It's a 3D high dynamic range camera. And this, whatever the camera captures, will be basically seen on the screen, which is a 3D 4K OLED screen. But in between that, we have the heart of the whole system, which is a graphic processor, a high-speed graphic processor, which does the photoshopping, and we see it on the 3D screen. And to view that, we have to use a Polaroid glasses so that we get three-dimensional real-time view. It is very important. We have actually had instruments, better viscoelastic, better phaco machines now. We have great hands. But what about the microscope? What about how you see? If you see better, we can probably operate better. So if you have such a view, slowly, if you have something like an overexposed or underexposed, instead of that, if you have such a view in which everything is clearly visible, you don't have to really guess what you are seeing. So if you are photoshopping regularly, can you do any photoshopping in surgery? Yes. With the color tone mapping, what you see can be modified by the graphic processor. You can have a better color tones. You can actually change the picture and see more details. I think you're also very important as a surgeon. That is important. You always cared for the patient's vision, patient's well-being. What about your wellness in the OT? I think by age of 55, more than 70% of us who are marathon cataract surgeons will have a neck, back, and a shoulder injuries. So we had a movie called MST, The Untold Story. The Untold Story, the acronym for MST is Musculoskeletal Disorders for Ophthalmologists or Ophthalmic Surgeons. I think this story unfolds in our OT because of bad ergonomics. We cantilever our neck to reach out for the oculars. So the neck is always bent, bears the brunt of the entire weight of the head. And when we crouch and look for the oculars, the lumbar lordosis get obliterated and the intervertebral disc takes the beating. And people who are short, who are vertically challenged, have to sit at the edge of the seat to reach out for the oculars. And the poor assistants have to bend all the time to catch up with what's going on there. I think this has a tremendous problem on our musculoskeletal health. Instead, we can do our vitreoretinal surgeries, we can do a cataract surgery. This is a heads-up cataract surgery. I keep my head erect. I look at a screen without having to bother about it. I can lean back on my chair. I can sit on a sofa and operate my cataracts. I don't have to worry about reaching for the oculars. So this is a great view. It gives a three-dimensional view. It gives a color toning. I can change the contrast. I can change the magnification. But what about the depth of focus? I think Ingenuity, which is a standard, is a prototype from Alcon. We have compared with the Lumira 700, which is the best in the industry for an analog microscope. 26 to 48% greater magnification, more than 5 times better focus, and the depth resolution. I'll just show you a small video where they kept two things at two different. This is to an analog microscope. When you actually zoom it up, you can see that one bottle, things are getting blurred because of the poor depth of focus. Instead, if you're seeing through an Ingenuity system, so you have two different depths. Even when you zoom it, you don't really lose the details of this bottle. So that is the great idea about the depth of focus. But what is very important, Dr. Srinivas Joshi will agree with me that cases which have bad corneas, poor resolution, to an analog microscope, there's a scattering of light. You don't really see anything inside. But if you use an Ingenuity system, you can actually see a lot better, even through a so-called relatively hazy media, especially like corneal problems. And it's a great teaching tool. I think this is very important. What the surgeon sees, the assistant sees. You can't hide anything from your assistant or your scrub sister or from your students. Everybody sees it's a very immersive environment. I think the OT is a great place where everybody sees what the surgeon is doing. They can operate better, they can cooperate better. Everybody becomes a part of the team. I think this is a very great thing that this system actually provides. But what is very important? What is very important is this is about the Nokia CEO when it was taken over by Microsoft. They said, we didn't do anything wrong, we lost. So what they missed was they missed out on the learning, they missed out on changing. What is the moral of the story? If you don't change, you'll be removed out of the competition. What is the conclusion? The advantage you have yesterday will be replaced by trends of tomorrow. If you refuse to learn and improve, one day, whatever you have will become redundant, it will be not relevant in the industry. So this is something that you need to change. We have very good surgical doctors, surgically competent doctors. We have great machines. We have great viscoelastic devices. What we need to change is the way we have to see things and also invest something for our own wellness. We can actually have a heads up. And this is just the beginning. I think once we go ahead, probably things will get a lot better. My co-debater probably will say it's very pricey, not worth it. Soon, when more people take it up, the prices will come down. The R&D charges will take care of it. And slowly, probably, operating with a heads up, maybe with just a headgear, probably without having to invest on huge equipments, we will be able to do our cataract surgeries in the future. Thank you very much. Let us have an open mind. This is very important to accept any change. Change is the only constant thing. I'm repeating for the third time in this session. Let us embrace the new technology without any prejudice. We may not have it, but still let us not have a bias or a prejudice. What is very important is our own well-being. Are you looking at your back, neck? What is the point of getting out of the competition, out of the event before it's time, just because by 50, 60, because you didn't care how you kept your neck, how you kept your back during your marathon sessions of cataract surgery? Let us all put together, including Dr. Anurag Mishra, my friend, let us together head towards the heads of cataract surgery. Thank you very much, Dr. Chitra and others, for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Krishna Prasad. As usual, an amazing talk. Dr.